e-gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to map number 2 of our final best of 3 of the day. It is the decider match. One of these teams is eliminated. The other will be heading on to tomorrow, where we have our semi-finals beginning. Spartak taking the first map. It was their choice. We've already seen them play this map today versus Team Spirit, and they did a damn good job taking it to overtime. And well, they're going to look to do similar in this one, or well, they're going to look to try and win it at least. Joining me once again is Harry. He's been believing in Spartak from the get-go.
Yeah.
Sticking with them? Do you think they'll take nuke, or do you think we're going to 3?
You know what? I think with how they played on it earlier, they can give their damn best, Tom. And that's all they can give. And if you don't like them after that, then you're not the kind of guy I want to be friends with.
That is the most useless analysis I have ever heard. That's like that guy who goes, like the parent at like sports day. It goes, it's not the winning that matters, it's the taking part that. No, it's winning. It's sports day. You've got to try and win. You know, they did their best. Yeah, who cares? Either you won or you lost. This is why I'm probably going to be a terrible parent.
This is why we know Tom's parent issues come from. He was second place in everything. But anyway, charging it towards Ram. Def going to be the first man to go down. And 4 players still up for pro100. Looking to try and pour in towards B. But not if Prop can do anything about it. Propler going to go ahead and get 2. Kenzo does trade him out. Better late than never, but it's still a massive 2-for-1 trade. Kenzo doing the damage. He's going to find himself 1v3. Trying to turn it into a 1-on-2, but Jerry does not give him the satisfaction. Spartak going to go ahead and pick up the first round. The pistol round under their belts over on the CT side. And now they'll be buying up UMPs across the board, nearly, apart from Little, who's only going to be on the P250 because he wants that orb.
This buy sickens me. This is just... I hate it. I hate everything about the, by the way, seeing the CT side. And well, the T's have a great opportunity. They don't have any rifles to face off against, and on some of them they don't even have any weapons. It's going to be the aggressive push coming in. Smike managing to sneak past the majority, and Def already going to be starting off with the first kill. Jerry getting tagged very low with Kenzo. I think actually finding him through the wall, which is madness. Well, now it's on to Propler and Kabakan to try and turn this round back in their favor. Kabakan has been spotted, won't be able to retrieve anything over from that corner. The smoke will go down, but the bomb, in the meantime, has been retrieved from spawn. And T still with loads of time to spare.
Oh, Kenzo was kind of close there. Nearly finds that Propler in through the wall, but not quite. Still alive, 1 HP. Clinging on for dear life, and while Kenzo and Crush down here over towards B, they're going to have to use Propler as almost like a living, breathing decoy at this point. Oh, no, they can't even use that because Kabakan's going to get decapitated, and then Propler will go down. Pro100 quick to go ahead and take a round straight back.
Good.
The UMP across the board buy didn't really pan out as they would have liked.
I'm genuinely happy. Not supposed to be biased, but when I see a buy like that, it just frustrates me. It just limited them so much in their outside control, and well, Little again, well, he can buy a scout in this round because he didn't really buy much in the last, but it's just weird. I don't get why he doesn't buy a scout. In fact, last time they played nuke, I think in the second round he got 4 kills with the scout outside. I don't see the logic, but either way, aggressive push once again. Jerry is going to be looking to turn things on their head, finding the double kill early into the round. Little again.
Oh, Little! Just a joy to watch as he leaps and bounds around. Nothing can contain his scout shots. And while you get the bomb's been dropped, Jerry going to be sitting on that. Just looking to try and hold it down. Oh, spotted towards that side. Flaric just had his back spotted by the player up in heaven. Propler with the Deeg. They're poised and waiting to see if he comes around through Minion. Little going to be peeking outside. Has to watch out because Death's down to his left. It's going to be Flaric who chimes in some shots, tags him down very low. Jerry going to fall over by the bomb. Says 55 seconds left. Little on 17 HP. Not looking too healthy. A lot of this going to reside now. Oh, I was going to say on Propler, but he's going to fall forward as you bring him up. And then Flaric outside, knocking these guys down like they're nothing. 2-1 as pro100 go ahead and win out that second round consecutively. It means Spartak do just have to grit their teeth and bear it. Go for the full eco into this one so they can buy up in the next. And unless you're Jerry, you have a little bit extra cash from that UMP killing spree. In which case you can buy the Deegan armor.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as to why he didn't save and drop an AWP in the next round for Little. I just think it's such a big part of their game that for them to go for a Deagle and armor instead is quite peculiar. In fact, we'll see what he can do with it in this round. The answer is nothing. Propler going to be looking to push back, trying to find something. P90 onto Smike. I managed to miss that one. Makes me feel a little bit sick as well, but as long as it gets left, no, it doesn't. Crush takes it instead. Brilliant. My favorite gun. Did you know that?
Oh, what, the P90?
Love it. Excellent.
I remember, I think it was watching M Elite play with that.
My favorite player.
Yeah. Intel Challenge. I mean, yeah, I mean, the P90 is pretty solid. Smike's going to be on that, looking to leave a trail of death and screeching in his wake as he runs around with that. It's going to be just charging out towards the A bomb site straight in, and there's Smike to open things up. Ken's going to get dropped in return as Kabak, and there we go, stepping up, but no, Smike the one to answer back. Crush does get one, but oh, then comes Jerry. The frag's going left and right, and ultimately it will be Spartak, the ones to pick that up. Sadly, the sugary sweet surprise that is Smike and Ike's not enough to go ahead and secure that one with the P90. It will be a 2-3 scoreline as now Spartak come right back with a round of their own.
Genuinely prefer the Bison to it, but it still managed to get 2 kills. No head armor, definitely helping him out quite a bit. And now they get to buy some real guns, the AWP onto Smike. Instead, got 3 rifles over on the CT side, but the UMPs still lie in their hands due to the nature of their economy at the moment. They haven't started particularly strongly, and that's always one way that you can rack up a few rounds over on this T side, just by keeping the money low enough that rebuys become more and more difficult. Outside control is going to be the aim of the game for this T side, and they've got it pretty much for free. The only person anywhere near the action is Jerry. Clearly not feeling the confidence we saw earlier where he was going very aggressive. He's just going to stay all the way back. The problem is they're giving up so much map control on this outer position of the map. Flaric has already got himself all the way up into the rafters of the map. They have to be very careful. Kabakin is waiting, but it just seems like they've given up way too much. They have taken some in return. Or at least, no, they haven't. Map just confusing me. I thought that we'd seen a little bit of a push from Little, but he's actually underneath. Either way, Crush now goes pushing. Jerry will be there to trade, still on the outer positions of the map. Smike's going to find one more.
Yeah, and Spartak just getting torn limb from limb in this round. Propler trying to rotate round. It's going to be over in hell. Bomb was dropped out over towards there, but now it's been swiftly picked up. We'll have to watch out. 2 players up above me. Looks to try and come in from behind. Little is going to get dropped. It all falls on a Propler who falls to Flaric. Doesn't get anything done. Pro100 to pick themselves up another round. 4-2 as they take an early advantage here on their T side of all sides. The economic reset going to be harshly felt by Spartak, who will just have to grit their teeth and concede yet another round the way of pro100.
Yeah, looking strong already on the T side, and we saw that Spartak, in their previous attempt at this map, it really didn't go very well for them on the T side. After a 12-3 half, it went level pegging versus Spirit. Definitely not the way that they want this to go again. Well, maybe on the CT side they'd be happy, but it can't happen. They've already lost 4 rounds. CT side in this round investing very little, so a 5th all but guaranteed. or the T's. Playing passively as well, waiting for the aggression. Smike finds that first kill. The remainder just looking to try and push out into the lobby. Find themselves a kill. A lot of damage, however, being done, and Trade's just unavailable. Little on 5 HP. Every single one of the CTs falls. Leaves Little with, well, basically tiny chance of trying to find some sort of kill. Maybe dropping a weapon. Best case scenario, I think, is him maybe retrieving one. In terms of weaponry in the next round, it's going to be very limited for CT side. And again, I'm sort of confused as to why they're not really like focusing more on that AWP. It was such a big factor going on to their nuke game that they played earlier, and it's just not been a part of their game at all so far.
Yeah, and you know, we were saying how it's such an important weapon in their arsenal on every map. It's one that we frequently see them lesser themselves in a lot of these rounds just to go ahead and afford. Even if like his team is full buying down, you'll frequently see Little opt to invest in just a P250 in order to be able to afford the AWP into the next round. And it's a huge gamble to take, limiting your firepower that much when you can afford to buy. And it's something that has punished them a lot, but that's how much they rely on having that AWP. So seeing them have, you know, the opportunity a couple of times here, or the opportunity where they could have picked one of these up and then just flat out denying it is very weird, to say the least. And I think that's one of the reasons why when we look at Little on the scoreboard right now, he isn't really where we'd expect him, which is firmly up at the top.
No, and it is something that we mentioned before about how the start of the game was him going 16-2 when they previously played Nuke, and you remove that factor from the game, and I think Team Spirit probably take that map even more, like in easier fashion, because he really was controlling the outside with the scout, with the AWP. We're yet to really see anything from their side. It's been Jerry having a moment or two, finding a kill here and there, but they've only managed to get 2 rounds on the board so far on their CT side. pro100 definitely looking like the better team in this matchup so far. It's early days, but even at a sort of 10-5 scoreline, still be favoring pro100, I feel. Either way, he's going to go wrapping round. They managed to get themselves into heaven, and that's going to be Kabakan out of this round already, and just his flank coming in is going to make things so difficult. Bomb will go down.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, if I were Spartak at this point, I'd already be thinking about trying to save. If they do save up the 3 rifles and they can try and force something into the next round. Little does find one into Flaric, so there's an AK they can pick up. And that does look to be the call that's been made. They just opt to play this one safe. It will be a 6th to go the way of pro100. They keep 3 players alive. Means their economy is going to remain fairly consistent. But it will be another round for pro100, which, being on their T side, already having 6 rounds is phenomenal stuff. When we saw Spartak take this to overtime versus... Wait, no. Did they take it to overtime? Was this the map that... Yeah, this was the map that went to OT, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, versus Team Spirit earlier on. That was with... I think it was a 12-3 half in their advantage. So... you know, phenomenal stuff from them in their CT side earlier. Now we're not seeing any of that. And that's going to come out to punish them. I mean, when you think about the fact they only got 3 rounds on their T side previously versus Spirit, a team who, you know, I'd say pro100 are playing above and beyond that other skill of right now.
Definitely looking... Well, it was also Spirit looking very underwhelming. So the fact that they managed to pull that map back may have shown a little bit more as to how Spartak were playing, rather than anything else, although at the time it seemed like maybe that was the awakening of Spirit as a team. Tease again, looking for this outside control. Force buy in few of the players. It's sort of weird, like they've still got money left in the bank, but some of them fully invested. It's an odd one. Let's see, Kenza trying to push around. Little is close by. Mike's still just holding onto Secret with the AWP, making sure nobody can push from that angle. Jerry in decent position as well, sneaking around, but he's going to get tagged away. Little is the one to be able to trade that frag back. Got to be careful. He's managed to drop the bomb. Flarich very low. Should give him another kill. He's actually going to turn around and take Crush. There we go. Little on the board. 3 kills in this round, leaving only 2 remaining. It's Kenza and Smike.
Yeah, Kabakin knows that Kenza's out here. Not going to be peeking on out. Not keen to try and give a frag. Oh, saying that, his head extending out a little bit too far. Smike is going to go down, but Kenza does drop Kabakin. Turns it into the 1-on-3. Face Crack going to continue to face, which could be a bit of an error. I mean, Little's tagged down very low. If Face Crack falls, then it goes all on to Propeller and Little. The bomb out in the open has to be retrieved, and there you go. The crossfire set up the 4K for Little as he enters himself onto the board in a big way. Jumping from, right down in the bottom to suddenly tied with Jerry up at the top. Doubling his score in that round, and that is going to be Spartak now to find themselves another round here on the CT side, 3-6, and a potential comeback for these guys now as they start to try and chain some together. If they win this one out, the economy of pro100 will be able to sustain a force into the next, but it won't be very good.
Yeah, same can be said for Spartak, though. They really do need to start racking up some rounds. This time there is the AWP of Little on that outside position. Smokes will go down, allowing them to get across if necessary. Actually, Flarich going to go for a peek. He seems aware of where his opponent currently stands and spots his head as he jumps over. This will give away his spot to Little, though, allowing him to know exactly where he currently is. Crush has managed to get into the vent, so they already have a bit of a split, and while the push going to come out, Proplay goes down. This is an interesting round. Not sure how he's got into that position. Must have pushed out the door without one of the opponents realizing. Little still managing to take down Smike. Will make things a bit more interesting, but with Crush on the trade, holding these players in for a vent, there's just no way they can get any sort of rotation in at the moment, and Kabakin will just jump straight into his arms, leaving Little alone. 1 versus 3. 50 seconds left.
In this scenario, there is a little he can do. And he looks to try and come in and save this AWP into the next round. Make his way towards outside. It's going to be hunted. Flarich. Oh, walking on by him. All Flarich had to do is look to his left to spot out the lone Little, but not going to be the case. He does look to hold on to the AWP into round 11. There can be a force to come in from Spartak, but it isn't anything fantastic. In fact, it would be pretty horrible. And the pause going to be called on in. Curious to see what decision they do make, because if they go for the force and then they lose it, you could very easily see pro100 reach sort of, I mean, really 8 or 9 rounds before Spartak even have a chance to get a full buy together.
Yeah, Little can actually drop 2 rifles in this situation, so there is definitely a chance that they could pull a decent buy off. Probably come off the back of a couple of UMPs as well. Problem is, though, pro100 already with 7 rounds on the board over on that T side, and Smike, why? Why are you doing this? Like, seriously, I understand you're winning. P90, it may have a pretty skin on it or something. Can we have a look? See what is P90? Oh, he's just going to stare at his knife, but I don't know, maybe the run and gun. That's what he wants to do. I'm still disappointed. It doesn't earn him too much money, but I suppose that's not something they particularly need at this point. And I think they may be expecting an eco to come out, because he hasn't been dropped an AWP. He hasn't been dropped anything, in fact. Bought it himself. There are 3 players without head armor, so there's that sort of gain that can be had. See, maybe it'll work out with this aggressive push from him.
They're just going to go rushing on in, thinking it's an eco, and that could be their downfall, or it could be their biggest victory as they go rushing on through. Crush through the smoke, just going to guillotine Jerry. They watch as their teammates get completely slaughtered. Propeller on the flank, going to be dispatched. Oh, no, tagged away down low. And actually, Crush going to fall to the nade, but Propeller forced on back, and it looks like already the call to save has been made. That is an 8th round now for pro100. 4 players staying alive, unless Face Crack can find something here as he looks to try and mop up some exit frags. But, I mean, him going aggressive, they can't really afford to lose this, even though it is only a UMP. They need every little they can get.
Might be looking, and actually Face Crack has a great opportunity to do some extra damage here. Nice amount of money made for him. $1,200 into his account, but unfortunately the rifle lost, or the SMG lost, will not be worth that trade. he got away with an AK, then sure, but leaves them in a more problematic position. Really, I feel like they have to save in this round and wait for the next one where they'll have 2,400 loss bonus. But it really is looking like a completely different team. 8 rounds on this T side for pro100. Impressive stuff, it has to be said. The last round, it was just a switch up in pace that really caught their opponents off guard, and, well, sort of one and done is looking more and more likely. Little will get one crush around the corner, but he loses his life to the pistols, and somehow this is working. Little doing work once again. The flash not going to catch him. He'll get a 3rd kill of the round.
Yeah, in the blink of an eye, it's all eyes on Def. 1v5 does have the AK slipped in through Secret and the bomb in tow. Plenty of utility. Hasn't expended anything. They have no information as to where this player could be. Well, speaking of B, he's snuck his way down here. Looking like he's going to make his way in through vents. Might try burst on up. There's no way for him to get into the site without making noise. And the second he does, they are going to be alert. So throws down the molly to deny the instant rotate in through the vents. Should be able to get the bomb down as a result. Smart play to make as it buys him crucial time. Now going to try and sit in the afterplants. 1 versus 5. And Def trying to step up to the mark. Everyone here rotating in through vents or Secret. Going to be coming up from behind. Little holding the angle. Has to find his first frag. Little's going to miss the shot, but now they know where he is. Already Propler on the site. Looking to try and stick to the defuse, and then it's Little to finish him off. The 4K for the AWP on Spartak, and that'll be everyone staying alive. A round which really should not have been this one-sided. It's going to be picked up. Face crack saving the AWP as well, so the double AWP setup going to be employed. Somehow Spartak do it.
Yeah, the problem is they need more than just a couple of cheese rounds. If you look at the way that they've been playing, it's only ever won. The 4 rounds they've won have been all individual rounds. They haven't had a streak of anything. And to be honest, I think they need to win the rest of the rounds in this half to even have a chance at this game. 8 rounds on the T side is more than most teams would expect to get at all. And, well, very, very good position. T side, their money isn't anything too ridiculous, though. So there's a chance if they get this one that the last 2 may just come at an easier sort of ploy, but it's looking like a fast play once again. Little is going to be caught in the open. Kenza jumps down, so no heroics from him this round, and Flarich has already found another one as they move onto the A site. Face crack doing work, but he can only get himself 2, at least evening up the scoreline a little bit with Jerry helping out through the smoke. Leaves it onto 1. Secondary AWP helping as well. They won't pick up another. They can just buy if necessary, but that at least gives them a lifeline. As said, not going to be too much money on the board for Pro. We'll buy up some smokes and a decent amount of utility as well, so potential to take outside. I don't think there's many other places where you need 4 smokes unless they're thinking of blinding everybody over on that A site for a few seconds. Going to try and shut down Little, who was caught out in the last round at least. Try and at least get some damage done.
Yeah, Jerry going to be outside, picks up the first. Poplar and Jerry doing damage between them. They do go ahead and pick up 3 frags. The trade comes in onto Jerry. The Little in with the slam. Dunk nade going to put Kenza away, leaving this all on Smike. 1 versus 4. Still outside. Now buried in the ground as Little puts him to bed, and it will be a 6-8 scoreline. The pause going to be called on in. The attack from Pro100 to try and pick up this last round of the half. They've got money left to invest. They won't be able to get the AWP though. I mean, they haven't really been relying on one, so not going to make too much of a difference. It will be AKs across the board. Nice bit of utility up behind them as well, I can imagine. The only thing is something has changed in these last couple of rounds. A newfound confidence coming in from Spartak, and a change in their setup has led to success in these last 3 rounds. And I mean, an 8-7 scoreline suddenly is far more respectable.
Ball's going to be called. Auto sniper in. Now, there's actually an AWP just sat on the floor in the spawn. Clearly deciding that this is the weapon of choice. I imagine that's being played over towards ramp. I think that's where Proplo's been playing as well, so he can just sit at the back and just spam bullets through smokes if necessary. Not ideal if you're going for any sort of retake, so they're going to have to try and hold on to this. They do have plenty of kits, however, and weapons drop down in the spawn now. Door going to be broken early. Crush going to be looking to clear some positions as soon as possible. But this is a lot of the utility they have already expended. And they're just going to go for a fast play. Kenza already into the site.
Yeah, but it's Jerry to open this up in such a big way. Gets himself 3. It's still on Def once again. 1 versus 5. And he's got to try and clutch his out. He knows what these players are, but it's falling on deaf ears as he will go down, face crack to finish him off. And well, an 8-7 scoreline secured, far, far better from Spartak than what we could have possibly expected there towards the end. They win out the last 4 rounds. And I mean, you know, while an 8-7 scoreline isn't ideal moving into the second half, it's far better than how it was originally looking. I mean, I was worried at one point there that they were going to get like 12-13. 12-13, 12-3. I put an extra 1 in front of the 3. Oh, the tiredness kicking in, Tom. The tiredness is running rampant.
7 is definitely better than 3.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
I agree with you there. But, yeah, they've still got massive amount of work to do. I think the pistol needs to go their way. They want to deny pro100 any chance of building up that early money, because those extra 3 rounds is pretty much just a little bit of a bank building exercise. Gonna go for an aggressive push straight out onto the A site. Interesting strategy considering the bomb is going in a different direction. They will find the opening kill. Bomb making its way forward. They're waiting for this push. Def gonna go down. Kabakan doing work. Actually, they're just going to clean up these frags. They didn't even need the bomb plant. It looked like they had an elaborate sort of strategy set up there to get the bomb down on B. Instead, they just kill everyone.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you have to do is get the frags. As Spartak, yeah, they go ahead and pick up that pistol round. Fantastic stuff from them. As you said, I mean, it's a very elaborate strategy, looking like we could have seen something very grand, but you don't really have a chance to see strategy develop if everyone just dies in a blaze of glory. So it will be the buy coming in from Spartak, the force buy for pro100 to try and steal this back, and already aggression towards outside, as we usually see in these anti-ecos, trying to use these rifles at range, make their way in towards secret. Now, while the outside play does make sense initially, the thing that we usually see these players fall prey to, and this is the sense for a lot of teams, is once you get in B, all the angles are extremely close for the most part, and these pistols can do some serious damage. Oh, but no one face crack just ruins heads. It is going to be 2 people going down. Def and Crush both falling. Smike on the flank from behind finds 1. Kenzo going to be dispatching a problem, and Smike doing some serious work, drops the bomb, turns it into the 2-on-3, and has bomb in his control. Player does come in from behind. It's going to be Jerry to quickly get this back in control of Spartak. Spartak. But yeah, Kenzo, 1v2. Turns it to the 1-on-1, and oh, Kenzo, you fantastic gentleman. The 3K for him.
You just turned into Hugo Byron for the last couple of rounds. You used the word grand, and then you called him fantastic gentleman.
Nah, first Hugo Byron, I would have gone, oh, Kenzo, you fantastic gentleman.
Please stop. Oh, God. Oh, lovely stuff from him, though. Little again, only with a pistol. It just frustrates me every time that it seems to just come about that he's always one of the last, and it always seems to play a big part. CT side now breaking straight back. Little will have an AK, always has that extra money because he doesn't buy anything in the second round. He will find that first kill onto Smike. Maybe it's just all an elaborate ruse to turn that 3rd round instead and reset them a little bit later on. We'll see if they can turn this back around. Don't have much in terms of utility, but know how deadly these pistols can be. In fact, we saw it in just the round before. Kabakan going to be sneaking around the rafters, but Flourish seems to be aware of the smoke. Going to blind, well, not the smoke roll, but the flash will blind both players, so can't really capitalize on it. 2 players, in fact, going around secret. Little is going to be watching the angle, but a little bit slow to react. Goes down to just 21 HP, and I quite like to see him maybe drop that rifle. It doesn't matter, though. They're being cleaned up one by one. Kabakan able to do a little bit of extra damage, but now Little is all that's left.
1v3, 21 HP, and a bucket full of dreams as he looks to make his way through A main. Pushing on in, gonna fall to the first hole. Def shuts him down, and pro100 go ahead and pick themselves up a 10th round. It just was not meant to be. Spartak, they're going to be put down. Have to just grit their teeth and go for the pistols up in... sorry, go for the eco into this one. Can maybe invest in pistols on Little and Kabaka, but I'd like really to see Little save the money and try and invest that into the AWP, but not going to be the case as he buys up the P250, looking to try and do a little bit of damage into this round, as does Kabaka.
Get back in.
Yeah.
You put more emphasis on it now.
I know. Well, last thing we actually brought it up earlier.
That's why you heard them say it.
Yeah.
They had lack of sleep. Aggressive push from the T's though. Taking map control outside. Smike already going to find the first. Looking for Little as well with that P250. And support as well. Flaric going into the outside area. Going to make it very difficult. And Smike executes the remainder. 11 to 8. Conversion rounds are done. And we finally have a bye. I almost see that Little P250 buy in the sort of second rounds as almost a plan to fail. I feel like it's just odd. I would love to know why he does it. I get, like, economy-wise, if he saves and they win the rounds, he gets an AWP easier. But he would still have one if he bought, like, a MAC-10, a UMP, anything of the sort, and just stayed alive. Like, it's...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I never understand, right? And on top of that, you can actually make more money with something like a UMP, so... It is weird, and it does sometimes feel like maybe they are planning to fail a little bit. I think it is just him looking to try and save as much as he can while not being completely ineffective. But, I mean, come on, the P250 armor thing just hasn't... I can't think of a time that it's actually worked out.
Oh.
But anyway, the push going to be coming in towards the A-bomb site. They're just going to go in thick and fast, and well, it's not playing out immediately as Kenzo will definitely start mopping these guys up. Finally, the trades do come in, but it's Crush on the flank. Flaric in the site doing the damage. It all falls on a Little 1v3 to try and hold down the bomb out towards A. It's not been Little's day as he makes his way on in. Has to check out Mini. Decapitates the first. Flaric going to go down. He doesn't expect the second being there. Pivots on the spot, and Smike will smite him. That is Pro 100 with their 12th round. 3 rounds away from map point. Taking this to map number 3 if they can get themselves 4 rounds. Spartak, they're going to be 4 rounds behind now. Force buying down what they can. Going to be getting the full brunt of that loss bonus, so they can afford to do so.
Damage is a must. It's already starting to occur that the CT side are building up enough cash that even if they do lose a round, they'll be able to rebuy anyway. Crush and Kenza, the main culprits, with 6,000 and 7,000 in the bank. I've seen quite a bit of control taken down through Secret, but switch in position has already been made by Def. A little bit of a attempt to take ramp being had at the moment by Little. Got 2 players around him. We'll spot one with his P250, but it is now Flaric in this little crossfire with Def. Nobody yet to cross over, and while players just being shut down. Def in a great position as well to just drop that bomb. No chance for them getting through in this sort of position. Just attempting to spam. But this crossfire has worked perfectly.
Yeah, Kabakin is going to be here now. The bomb's still very much under control. Pro 100. Flaric has been tagged down very low. Takes out the peak and oh, face crack. Got to start cracking faces. That's what they need him to do. Kabakin spots out Def. Dad's tagging a little bit. He's got support from Kenzo in the vents, who picks up the first, leaving it now all on face crack. 1v4. Does have the bomb, but he's also only got 17 HP. Limping, bleeding in towards the site. Def puts him out of his misery. And that is Pro 100 to pick themselves up. A 13th round.
Okay. I was hoping they would go for another tactical and just talk over how they're going to approach this round, because it is getting to the point, okay, yes, they have the loss bonus behind them, but they lose this one and Pro 100 hit 14. Very close to taking this to map number 3, which will be Cobble, which they've already beaten them on earlier in today, so important situation for Spartak. Hoping it's only a minute technical pause, otherwise really could ruin any sort of momentum. I suppose if you're a Spartak fan, that may actually be in your favor, as it's 5 rounds in a row now for this CT side. Real problem being, though, is I just feel like Spartak didn't do enough on the CT. 7 rounds. They win the pistol. They set themselves up nicely and then throw away the second. Now they've got to fight this back. Here and now. AWP back in Little's hand. Nothing else. Doesn't even have its trusty P250. Or head armor, for that matter. Gonna have to be a bit more careful than usual. I doubt that'll be the case. Gonna go straight outside. Flashbang will slow them a little, but he's gonna go for the peek. Does spot out Flaric, but the flashbang actually saves him. Goes crossing.
Smike going to be able to locate the first frag of the round onto Jerry. And actually, Flaric going to be here to assist best he can, popping his head out from secret. And eliminating face crack. Already 2 heavy hitters for Spartak taken down. Nothing yet to answer back. They've grinded to a halt. There's 1:10 left. They've got 2 AKs in the AWP on Little, but it seems like they have been struggling. I mean, even Little on the AWP hasn't done half the spectacular stuff we expect to see, and that isn't even me saying he needs to step up. He's still doing phenomenally well. Everyone else finally needs to start joining him in that fact. The pro100 have just been locking down this CT side, so Ball going to be picked up by Kabakan. Now looking to rejoin Probler. Looking like they want to try and make their way in towards A. Little about to push in through mini. Gets caught. Spotted out with the player up on high. It's going to be Kenzo who does do the damage. Def able to find one. It all falls on the Kabakan who gets the trade, but then falls to Flaric from outside. 8-14. 6 rounds between these 2 teams, and pro100 currently 1 round away from that point. And the AUG board up for Kenzo, because he is a fabulous gentleman.
Getting a full spread of weapons from this CT side. We've seen a P90 from pro100. We've now seen an AUG. Let's see where he takes it as well. Actually going to go stay in heaven, or is he just going to go peeking towards the door? I suppose it's a complete change up to what we saw earlier. Has a similar spray to the AK with reduced damage, but I don't know. Maybe he knows something I don't about that weapon. Either way, he's going to get the first kill, taking down Little, the star of the show. Flaric with another one. Looking like already this round may be done. There's no utility, not even head armor on the majority of players over on the other side. Crush waiting patiently. And the great thing so far about this team is just everybody's been pulling their weight. It will be Jerry to find one, but Smike very quick to trade things back, and now Face Crack is the only one left alive. Has a minute left. He has the bomb. That's about it. If anything, it looks like he's going to go save. I would say that really if he gets a kill, he's pretty much got exactly what he's holding now anyway. So, may as well try and at least hurt this economy a little bit. They're going for the win, not just for 1 round in the next. There we go. He's pretty much earned that AK armor back. Now he's going to fight, but yeah, we'll just get to retain, plus do a little bit of extra damage. 15-8, pro100. 1 round from evening up the scoreline. And then Cobblestone awaits us.
Potentially the last round of this second map. Spartak, they've got 2 Galils, very little in the way of utility. Face Crack and Kabak and any players with anything. They're just going to look to load all their eggs into one basket over here towards ramp, ready to push on in. Unless they have loaded all their eggs in one basket, Little's actually coming from behind, trying to... Nope, he's going to fall. Never mind, doesn't get anything done. Smike's going to be able to eliminate him. Now looking to push on through. And more crushes here. Gets the first. The trade comes in from Propless. They do manage to get the 1-for-1 at least over towards ramp. Get controller here early on. And look at this from Kenzo with his AUG. Going to be going aggressive in from behind. The rest of the team rotating down over towards B. Face Crack gets spotted out. The bomb trying to cross in towards the site. Probably going to be looking to get that down in the smoke. Peeking out around it. The pop flash comes in and renders him fully blind. Back and turns the tide of battle, but it's Smike to drop the bomb. And then get the second as well. Fantastic stuff from him. A 3K in that round there. And that is pro100 to go ahead and take this second map. 1-1 in the series as we head through to Cobblestone.